Welcome back, everyone. Grab your popcorn because today's story is packed with shocking twists, emotional moments, and secrets that change everything. Let's jump right in. Oh, let me tell you something, friends. I've been hooked on General Hospital for a good many years now, and I've got to say, what's happening with Sidwell these days has me smiling from ear to ear every time I sit down to watch. Finally, that slick troublemaker is starting to lose his power, and it feels so satisfying. The only thing that was really holding his whole scheme together just got taken right out from under him, all thanks to Sonny and Laura teaming up like the strong folks they are. I've watched Sidwell stir up way too much mess in Port Charles for far too long, and seeing him finally sweat a little just warms my heart. It's like that old saying we have here in America, what goes around comes around. He had his run, but now the tables are turning, and boy, does it feel good. You know, ever since his son Marco passed away, Sidwell just hasn't been the same. The man looks completely broken down, like the life is slowly draining out of him. His health is getting worse day by day, and you can see it in his eyes. He's carrying a heavy load that's finally catching up with him. I feel a little sorry for him in that way, but then I remember all the pain he's caused, and I think, well, maybe it's time for some justice in that town. The real sweet moment came when Laura and Sonny managed to strip away the control he had over them. Those two have been through so much together, and watching them fight back side by side just makes me proud. With some real good help from Pascal, that steady fellow played by Mark Forget, and young Lucas lending a strong hand too, they pulled off something special. They got hold of those important photos and the evidence tied to Dalton's body, the very thing Sidwell was using like a weapon to keep everyone under his thumb. In that episode that aired on June 8th, I was practically cheering out loud in my living room. Laura stood up tall and looked Sidwell right in the face, basically daring him to try his worst. Sonny was right there with her, wearing that knowing little smile of his, backing her up all the way. It felt like a real victory for the good people of Port Charles. Sidwell had been planning something awful. He wanted to get rid of Laura and put Ezra in her place. But when he rushed over to Windermere and opened that safe, his whole world came crashing down. The proof was gone. Lucas had beaten him to it. Just like that. The power he thought he had over Laura, Sonny, and the entire town slipped away like sand through his fingers. Now, Sidwell is left vulnerable, and I can't help but think Sonny only let him keep breathing because of that leverage. Everything has flipped completely. The situation is getting harder for him every single day, and you can feel the tension building. It's like the walls are closing in on that man, and I'm sitting here wondering how much longer he can hold on. I've got to admit, these kinds of storylines always get me thinking about real life, too. We've all known people who try to control everything around them, thinking they're untouchable, only to watch it all fall apart when good-hearted folks stand together. Sonny and Laura remind me of those solid, everyday heroes who don't give up easy. They've got heart, they've got courage, and they care about their town. Seeing them win even a little bit like this just lifts my spirits and makes me want to keep watching. I'm telling you, this is turning into one of those storylines I won't soon forget. It's full of twists, emotion, and that good old feeling of hope when the bad guy starts to lose his edge. If you've been following along, you know exactly what I mean. I can't wait to see what happens next. Will Sidwell try one last desperate move, or is this really the beginning of the end for him? Either way, I'm glued to the screen, popcorn in hand, enjoying every minute. How about you folks? Does watching Sidwell's downfall make your day a little brighter too? I sure hope so, because these characters feel like old friends after all these years. Oh, let me tell you, friends, I've been watching General Hospital for so many years that these characters feel like part of my own family. And right now, the story with Sidwell has me leaning forward in my chair every single afternoon, just shaking my head in amazement at how fast things are falling apart for him. It's not just that he lost those important pieces of evidence that were giving him all his power. No, it's even deeper than that. The man is sinking deeper and deeper into his grief over losing his son Marco. That poor boy's death has hit him like a ton of bricks, and you can see it wearing him down day by day. Sidwell isn't thinking clearly anymore. His mind is clouded with sorrow, and all that pain is making him make mistakes he never would have made before. It's becoming more obvious with every episode. I've known men in my own life who lost a child, and it changes them forever. It breaks something inside that's hard to fix. Part of me feels a little sorry for the fella, but then I remember all the chaos and hurt he's brought to Port Charles, and I think maybe this is the only way he'll learn. The situation at the construction site for the new tennis center really showed how vulnerable he's become. Lucas ran into him there, and Sidwell started questioning him hard about those stolen blackmail papers. He wanted to know if Lucas had set up Pascal Levesque after what happened with Marco. The tension in the air must have been thick enough to cut with a knife. Lucas didn't flinch. He admitted right there that he had taken the photos and the negatives, the very thing Sidwell had been using to control so many people. But Lucas also spoke some hard truths, blaming Sidwell for leading Marco down that dangerous road that ended in tragedy. You could feel Sidwell's anger boiling over. He pulled out his gun and pointed it straight at Lucas. Lucas kept pushing him, provoking him without backing down until Sidwell finally pulled the trigger 3 times. Bang, bang, bang. Lucas went down hard, falling right there on the ground in front of him. For a second, I held my breath, thinking the worst. But here's the part that had me smiling with relief. The young man was wearing a bulletproof vest. He got up, shaken, but alive. Those shots didn't finish the job, and now Sidwell looks even weaker and more exposed than ever before. Those moments didn't just make him vulnerable, they turned him into an easy target for everyone else. His guard is down, his plans are crumbling, and he's running out of allies. On top of all that, some of the strongest women in town are coming after him too. Tracy with her sharp tongue and no-nonsense ways, Brooke, Lynn, and Lucy are all teaming up to push him right out of deception. They've had enough of his schemes and manipulations, and they're not afraid to fight back. Even Willow is only keeping a secret for him, and that little bit of loyalty feels like it could slip away at any moment. All of this is chipping away at whatever power he had left, bit by bit. Between the heavy grief eating him up inside, the lost evidence that Sonny and Laura already took away, that failed shooting at the construction site, and all these good people standing up to him, Sidwell's world is getting smaller every day. I can feel the walls closing in around him, and it's such a satisfying thing to watch after everything he's done. It reminds me of that old saying we have here, you can only push people so far before they push back. Sonny and Laura started it, Lucas kept it going, and now Tracy, Brooke, Lynn, Lucy, and the others are adding to the pressure. I've always loved how General Hospital shows real human emotions, the grief, the anger, the courage to stand up when it matters. These storylines touch my heart because they feel true to life. We've all faced tough times, lost people we care about, or dealt with someone trying to control everything. Seeing the folks in Port Charles fight back with heart and determination gives me hope. It makes me root for them even more. I'm telling you, this storyline is turning into something special. It's full of emotion, surprises, and that slow burn feeling of justice finally coming around. I sit here with my coffee every day, excited to see what happens next. Will Sidwell try one last desperate move, or is this really the beginning of his end? I can't wait to find out. How about you, friends? Are you enjoying watching this villain lose his grip as much as I am? It sure makes the afternoons brighter, doesn't it? There's nothing quite like a good soap opera twist to keep life interesting. It warms my heart to see good people standing together. It reminds me of that old saying, what goes around comes around. Sidwell had his run, but now the tide has turned. Sonny, Laura, Lucas, and the others are showing real heart and courage. This story feels so real and gives me hope. I'm glued to the screen every day, cheering them on. How about you? Has watching Sidwell's downfall been as satisfying for you as it has for me? I can't wait to see how it all ends.